Okay, folks, what's up? Rich Fantastic with you, giving you the recap of some of the early games of now week 4 of the NFL season. The Carolina Panthers, a very impressive victory over the New England Patriots, 33-30. Carolina moves to 3-1, 2-0 on the road. New England drops to 2-2, 1-2 at home. Cam Newton, 22 of 29, 316 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. We'll get into that in a moment. Jonathan Stewart, 14 carries, 68 yards. Cam Newton, that's 4.9 for Stewart. Cam Newton, 8 for 44, 5.5. He had a rushing touchdown. Altogether, the team 29 of 144.8 yards per rush. Kelvin Benjamin, 4 receptions, 104 yards. Devin Funchess, 7 for 70 with 2 touchdowns. Fozzie Whitaker had 3 for 34 and another touchdown. Jonathan Stewart lost a fumble. The team had 3 sacks, 2 of them for Julius Peppers, the other for Kawan Short. Peppers still getting the job done. Christian McCaffrey, 3 kick returns for 58 yards. Christian McCaffrey, 2 punt returns, 25 yards. Graham Gano, 2 for 2 in his field goals, including the game winner. For the Patriots, Tom Brady, 32 of 45, 307 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Mike Gillislee, 12 carries, 49 yards, 4.1 per rush. Dion Lewis, 4 for 18, 4.5 yards per rush, 1 touchdown. The team altogether 19 of 80, 4.2 yards per rush, and the touchdown. Rob Gronkowski, top receiver, 4 of 80. Chris Hogan, 5 of 60, 1 touchdown. James White, 10 of 47. Danny Amendola, 6 for 42, the other touchdown. And Landon Roberts recovered the fumble. The team had 2 sacks. Dante Hightower, Kyle Vinoy. Malcolm Butler had an interception. Dion Lewis, a 23-yard kick return. No punt returns. Steve Gostowski, 3 for 3 in his field goals. The Panthers, it looks like they've abandoned that offense where they were trying to protect Cam Newton. He was running a lot in this game. 8 of 44. Threw the ball a lot. Threw the ball downfield. And Carolina was able to get the win. Hey, would you rather win or would you rather protect Cam Newton? So they're going to have to make that choice. But I think in this game, they saw that they had to keep pace with New England. They had a chance to win this game. New England came back. The Patriots' defense, really a lot of question marks with that team. That's really what it's coming down to in this situation. The Buffalo Bills, very impressive over the Atlanta Falcons. I thought Buffalo would be close. I thought Atlanta would pull it out. They almost did. But hats off to the Buffalo Bills. I was high on this team for the past couple years, and then I said I wasn't doing it this year. Maybe with McDermott in there, they're changing things around. Tyrod Taylor, 12 of 20. Buffalo now 3-1. Atlanta drops to 3-1. Tyrod Taylor, 12 of 20, 182 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. LaShawn McCoy, 20 carries, 76 yards, 3.8. Mike Tolbert, 8 of 31, 3.9. Tyrod Taylor, 7 of 12, 1.7. The team 36 of 117, 3.3 yards per rush. So not very good running. They didn't pass the ball a lot downfield, only 164 yards on 12 completions, but they were able to run the ball even at 3.3. Look, I mean, 3.3 is really not where you need to be. If you're at 3.5 but you're consistently getting yardage, then you might be able to get away with it, and that's what Buffalo probably did in this situation. If you're running at 3.5 and it's a situation where, you're having 8 and 10 yard and 4 and 5 yard runs, but then a couple times you're losing 2 and that, losing 3 consistently, and that brings you down. That's where you can't really get away with it. So hats off to the Bills. They were basically moving the ball forward. Charles Clay, 5 of 112. Receiving, LaShawn McCoy, 3 of 32. Charles Clay's having a good year, and he's been a solid, underrated guy at tight end. Zay Jones, 1 of 18. Jordan Matthews, 2 for 10 in the touchdown. Tre'Davious White, who played very well, and Deion Dawkins recovered fumbles. Mike Tolbert fumbled. It was not lost. The team only had 1 sack. It was Jerry Hughes. Micah Hyde had 2 interceptions. He's been a nice professional pickup, a guy who's played with a winning team with the Green Bay Packers for some years. Hats off to him, and hats off to the entire Buffalo Bills team. Tywan Jones, 2 kick returns, 50 yards. Stephen Hausch got 3 for 3 in his field goals, longest of 56. And he made another 50-yarder. He was just money in this game. Matt Ryan, 24 of 42, 242 yards, 1 touchdown, the 2 interceptions. Tevin Coleman, 9 carries, 79 yards, 8.8 yards per rush. Devontae Freeman, 18 of 58, 3.2 yards per rush, 1 touchdown. The team 29 of 149, 5.1 yards per rush. Tevin Coleman, top receiver, 4 of 65. Austin Hooper, 5 of 50. Julio Jones, 3 of 30. Julio Jones was hurt, left the game. Nick Williams, 3 of 30. Ben Garland, Jake Matthews recovered fumbles. Matt Ryan lost the fumble. Andre Roberts and Tevin Coleman fumbled ones, and they were not lost. The team had 3 sacks. Derek Shelby, Brooks Reed, and Deion Jones. No interceptions. Andre Roberts, 3 kick returns, 85 yards, the longest of 61. Andre Roberts, 2 punt returns, 8 yards. Matt Bryant made his only field goal. Buffalo, Tre'Davious White, I thought played very well. That defense is really coming along. They let Ronald Darby go. You figured their defense would struggle a bit. Tre'Davious White has certainly stepped up. They're getting pressure. They're flying around the ball. Micah Hyde, again, a guy I probably should have discussed more in the season preview. A very nice pickup for them. For the Falcons, hey, they ran the ball very well, but that defense had Matt Ryan uncomfortable all game. Julio Jones will have to see what the situation is with him moving forward, but we'll keep an eye on that. Hey, just hats off to the Buffalo Bills. They really just had Atlanta confused. I don't really see much to be concerned with the Atlanta Falcons, unless you have another game like this. But Buffalo's defense has been playing very well this year, and they're really turning things around under McDermott up there in Buffalo. Maybe this team that has had some talent can finally put it together. It's been a losing culture up there. Matt Stafford leading the Detroit Lions to a 14-7 victory over the Minnesota Vikings. 3-1 for the Lions, 2-0 on the road. The Vikings dropped to 2-2, 2-1 at home. Matt Stafford 19-31, 209 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Amir Abdullah 20 carries, 94 yards, 4.7 yards per rush. The team 31 of 97, 3.1 yards per rush. So you have a guy, well, the Amir Abdullah touchdown. You have a guy who runs 20 times for 94 yards. You have 11 other carries for 3 yards. Now, Matthew Stafford took 3 knees, which accounted for minus 3 yards there, but still, 4 for 4 for Theo Riddick, 1 of 2 for Golden Tate, Zach Zenner, 3 for no yards. So you see they were not running the ball well outside of that. Marvin Jones, 2 receptions, 42 yards. Darren Fells, 4 of 40. TJ Jones, 3 of 33. Tahir Whitehead recovered 2 fumbles. Anthony Zettel recovered 1 fumble. A lot of turnovers for the Vikings. Matt Stafford fumbled, was not lost. Zach Zenner also recovered a fumble. 2 sacks, both by Anthony Zettel. No interceptions. Matt Prater 2 for 3 in his field goals. For the Vikings, Case Keenum, 16 of 30, 219 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Dalvin Cook, 13 carries, 66 yards, 5.1 yards per rush, and a touchdown. Latavius Murray, 7 of 21. The team, 22 of 87, 4 yards per rush, 1 touchdown. Stephon Diggs, 5 of 98. Adam Thielen, 5 of 59. Kyle Rudolph, 2 of 34 receiving. Adam Thielen, Jerick McKinnon, Dalvin Cook, all fumbled once and all lost fumbles. They had 2 back-to-back at the beginning of the second half that really killed them. They did have 6 sacks in this game. Linval Joseph had 1. Eric Kendricks 1. Daniel Hunter 2. Everson Griffin 1. The team had a team sack in this one. Jerick McKinnon, 3 kick returns, 81 yards, longest of 32, average of 27. Marcus Sherrills, 4 punt returns for 16 yards, average of 4. Kai Forbath missed a field goal in this game. That was only a 29-yarder. He's got to make it. Minnesota's defense clearly let down by their offense and turnovers in this game. Case Keenum came back down to earth. Matt Stafford distributing the ball yet again for the Detroit Lions, getting a nice win. Their defense has played very well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys caught passes. 6 of the 8 more than 2. 4 of the 8 more than 3. So you see he distributes the ball very nicely, because he doesn't have that main guy as much as you can praise Golden Tate. Golden Tate's a fine player. He's not really a number 1, so hats off to them. Los Angeles Rams beating the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys pretty pathetic performance in the second half of this one, 35-30. Rams moved to 3-1, 2-0 on the road. Cowboys dropped to 2-2. Jared Goff, 21 of 36, 255 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, as another young pedestrian, I shouldn't say pedestrian, but another young, relatively inexperienced quarterback shreds the Cowboys. Todd Gurley, 23 of 121, 5.3 yards per rush. Tavon Austin, 6 of 48, 8 yards per rush. Todd Gurley, the top receiver, 7 of 94, 1 touchdown. Cooper Kupp, 5 of 60. He had the other touchdown. Tyler Higbee, 3 of 47. Robert Havestein, Troy Hill recovered fumbles. Jared Goff fumbled, was not lost. 2 sacks, Michael Brockers and Connor Borwin. Mark Barron had an interception. Farrell Cooper, 4 kick returns, 123 yards, longest of 66. Tavon Austin, 3 of 20. Greg Zerline, 7 of 7 in his field goals. So yeah, they got 35 points, but it didn't come the way you thought. Dak Prescott, 20 of 36, 252 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Ezekiel Elliott, 21 carries, 85 yards, 1 touchdown. Alfred Morris, 2 of 76, 38 yards per rush. One of them was a long of 70, though. The team altogether, 27 of 189, 7 yards per rush, 1 touchdown. Des Bryant, 5 catches, 98 yards. Ezekiel Elliott, 4 for 54, 1 touchdown. Terrence Williams, 4 for 34, had some big drops. James Hanna, 1 for 28, and touchdown. Bryce Butler had the other touchdown. Ryan Switzer lost a fumble. The team had 1 sack. It was DeMarcus Lawrence. No interceptions. Ryan Switzer, 3 kick returns, 78 yards. 1 punt return, didn't go for any yards. Dan Bailey, 1 for 1 in his field goals. Hats off to the Rams. They're running the ball very well. Their defense really shut the Cowboys down in the second half. Look, we discussed the Cowboys' offense not really coming into form. It sure looked like the first half they had turned things around. The second half, not so much. They had their troubles. The Rams certainly made things difficult on them, but the Cowboys' defense is just allowing teams to go up and down the field like the Cowboys like to do with other teams where they control the clock. Unfortunately, most teams don't have to run the ball against the Cowboys. Rod Marinelli refuses to change his defensive philosophy, and he basically allows teams to pick them apart. If you're going to get picked apart, you might as well just press harder and blitz and do whatever. I mean, he allows guys to just completely do whatever they want against them, and it makes no sense. But the Rams got the job done. Cowboys have got to figure out their secondary. You have a chance to sign a guy like A.J. Boyd. You don't do it. You decide to draft these guys other than Jordan Lewis aren't really coming along, and the offense has got to figure it out. But this defense has got to stop just allowing teams to do whatever they want because the Cowboys are too scared to play any sort of physical defense. The London game, the Saints moved to 2-2 with a 20-0 victory over the Dolphins, who dropped to 1-2. Drew Brees, 29 of 41, 268 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interception. Mark Ingram, 14 of 45 running. Alvin Kamara, 5 of 25, 5 yards per rush. I thought Kamara had a touchdown, or that came on a shovel pass, I should say, so my mistake, it wasn't a running. Ted Ginn Jr., 1 of 9. Adrian Peterson is done, 4 of 4. I'm saying it right now. The team, 28 of 86, 3.1 yards per rush. Michael Thomas, 8 of 89. Receiving, Alvin Kamara, 10 of 71. They had the touchdowns. Brendan Coleman, 1 of 31. Ted Ginn Jr., 2 of 25. Drew Brees fumbled once, did not lose any of them, recovered 2. Max Unger fumbled, the team 4 sacks. David Onyemata, Raphael Bush, A.J. Klein, Cameron Jordan, 1 interception. Ken Crawley. Alvin Kamara, 1 kick return, 23 yards. Ted Ginn Jr., 3 punt returns, 26 yards. Will Lutz, 2 for 3 in his field goals. For the Dolphins, Jay Cutler, 20 of 28, 164 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. Jay Ajayi, 12 of 46, 3.8 yards per rush. The team, 15 of 58, 3.9 yards per rush. Devontae Parker, 6 receptions, 69 yards. Jarvis Landry, 6 of 40. Julius Thomas, 2 of 29. Jawan James recovered a fumble. Jay Cutler fumbled, was not lost. Kenny Stills also fumbled and it was not lost. So Jay Cutler getting the turnover bug a bit. I know it was only 1, but he did throw an interception and fumble the ball that was not lost. You still don't like to see that from Cutler. Bad habits die hard. Cameron Wake had a sack, no interceptions. Jakeem Grant, 2 kick returns, 45 yards. Jarvis Landry, 2 punt returns, 9 yards. No field goals. For the Miami Dolphins to get shut out by a New Orleans Saints team, that defense, which is defense, frankly, is not good enough, and their offense, the Saints' offense, will allow you to get into games because they can score quickly, they can go up the field, and they cannot allow their defense to get the proper rest at times. So, really embarrassing for the Dolphins in that regard. I don't know if the trip across the continent played any part in that, but it's just not good enough for them in this game, so they have some things to work on. The Saints, give them credit, they got up to 2-2. All right, we'll be back in a little bit to continue on with the recaps of the early games from Week 4 of the NFL season. Stay tuned. Thank you.